Hi guys, you find me today down the Warwickshire Avon, just very near to where I live. I've popped down the road just to come and have a look, see how overgrown it's getting. As you can see behind me, the stingers are growing, and to do a little bit of pre-baiting. I think the pre-baiting starts today. I'm going to bait up the area for the next 6 weeks. It's now the beginning of May. I'm going to pre-bait for about 6 weeks, every couple of days, till the start of the season, and see if it will help me produce at the beginning of the season. As you can see behind me, it's getting very overgrown, as I mentioned in my winter videos. So first things first, I'm going to try and clear out just the other side of this fallen tree and stomp the stingers down and see if we can create a bit of a clear area so I'm not going to get stung to death. Right, we're in. I've stomped a few of these stingers down. I don't like to go crazy when I'm clearing swims out. I mean, I'm not going to clear out big expanses, room for bivvies and stuff. I just want enough room to be able to sit, set my gear up and land fish safely. On that subject, there will be a lot of lilies on the inside here. They haven't broken through yet, but I can see the cabbages under the water, so they'll be through. So we'll keep those down. So a lot of the fishing here will be just after dark, and the last thing I want is to lose fish in lily beds. So what I'm going to do is keep that clear as I keep coming down here on a regular basis. I should keep all that clear. So I think what we need to do is get started with a bit of pre-baiting. I'll show you what I'm using. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you'll know predominantly I'm interested in catching barbel and carp. So what I'm going to do is put in, from a cost-effective point of view, what I've done is bought, last season actually, I bought 15 kilos of pigeon mix particles. What I've done is boiled them up, soaked them and then boiled them up. And I have them in here currently. It's a lovely smell coming off there. I boiled them up in molasses to give them a nice sweet flavour. So what I'm going to do is over the next few weeks is this what's going to be the main constituent in the pre-bait. I'm also going to put some boilies and pellets in as well, but I don't want to go ladling those in. I'd much rather have the smaller particles, so the fish have got to stick around and work for the food. So we'll get this mixed up and I'll show you how I do it. All I generally do, I say I'm going to be baiting very regularly, so I'm not going to put a great deal in. That's plenty. Maybe 3 times a week, something like that. That's absolute plenty. As you can see, this bucket is probably, I think there's 15-litre buckets, there's probably 5 litres in there. I'm going to spod this stuff out because the river's fairly slow moving here. It's not a great problem spodding out, so I'm going to spod this out. Obviously, to stop it all flying out the back of the spod, it needs a little bit in it of something else. So what I tend to use is my trusty bucket is just some ground bait, just to dry it off. Method ground bait is great because it makes it just very slightly sticky, and that will stop all the particles flying out the back of the spod. So that's it. That's all I do. I should just adjust the amount of ground bait that goes in there just accordingly, depending on how much spill I'm getting out the back. So let's get this spodded in. The rod I'm using to spod with is really old, and by really old I mean really old. I think I got this when I was about 15. It's an old pike rod, 3-pound test curve, and it's just sitting around doing nothing, so I use it for my spodding work. PK3 I believe it was called. There's no markings on it or anything, but plenty beefy enough to get a spod out, what, maybe, I don't know, 25 metres if that. Braided main line, just a little quick clip. I'll clip the spod on and off quickly, just clip the rod up so I don't have to break it down every time. Let's get it in. I like to fish just to the back of that snag that the spod's just gone in. I've had some good carp and barber from there. And from the tree you can see slightly downstream, lots and lots of chub, up to 7 1/4. Well, that's the particle in, so what I'm going to do now is get some boilies in. I'm only going to probably put maybe 20 or 30 in at a time. I've got some salty squid, Pacific tuna and some krill boilies. They're going to be going in, as I say, 3 or 4 times a week, maybe 20 or 30 baits, that's all. Keep trickling it in, that's the idea. I'm not going to pile loads in, I'm just going to trickle it in bit by bit on a really regular basis. It's the benefits of living just over the road. Not going to get the boilies in very far, and I know I can throw them that distance as accurately as with a catapult, so I'm going to chuck them in. What I like to do with these boilies before I get them in, as we're fishing moving water, a little bit of a trick is give them a squash first. Firstly, it lets all the flavour out, and secondly, it stops them, or helps stop them rolling down the river. I don't know if it came across too much on the camera, but when I'm baiting here, it's completely opposite to when I fish a syndicate lake. I don't want to concentrate all the feed in one area, certainly not at the moment, not for a few weeks. What I'm doing is effectively baiting up a line across the river from me to that snag. I'm going to keep a line of feed going in, certainly for a good few weeks yet. The idea being, any fish that's travelling up and down the river, they've got to go across my bait. Hopefully stick around, have some free food, they can go, that's fine. They know where it is, they'll come back and it'll still be there. That's the idea, certainly at the moment. When we're a week or two away from the fishing season, then I'll start to concentrate the bait on the far side where I'm going to fish, but for now, that's the plan. I'll just take the opportunity to give you a quick tour of the swim. This is my banker area here, just downstream of this snag here. The river is flowing that way. So just downstream of this snag, I've had some lovely fish out, carp and barbel, fantastic. You need to get fishing very close to that snag though. The centre sort of third of the river, streamer weed all the way, real pain. You have to get the other side of it and it's nice and clear if you get near that snag. There's plenty of streamer weed because it's not that deep here. Upstream and downstream you've got maybe 15 foot of water. It's quite deep section of the Avon here. But here, 8 foot, 10 foot maybe. It's had has the added attraction of being not very breamy. I don't think I've ever caught a bream from here. Plenty of chub, barbel, carp, no bream. Also, I should mention this tree here, which I've had some stonking great chub from. Chub up to 7 1/4. And if I swing the camera around, I think you can probably also see the tree in the distance there. That's another great holding area for chub, although I don't know if it comes across on the camera, but they've actually they've taken some of the branches down from there, so we'll have to suck it and see this year, I think. This probably won't come out on the camera, but there's actually another peg just in here. I'll clear this one out as well, because when the river's flowing more than about walking pace, to fish that spot over there really without ridiculous amounts of lead, I need to fish from here. It's only a few meters upstream, but it just gives you a nice angle to get across there. So I should keep this peg clear as well. That's the one I fished in the winter, if you've seen any of my videos, with the pallet in it. Didn't do much good, but that's where I was fishing in the winter. Well, I think that'll do for now. The bait's gone in. We've cleared a little bit here, just stomped these stinging nettles down. Don't want to clear too much of an area, just enough to fish from really. I should do the same in that swim I just showed you. I should do that over the coming weeks. I should keep that clear and clear a path through to it as well. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I shall keep you updated, so keep coming back to find out how things progress, and I shall see you shortly.